You're in North Charleston, South Carolina. The people are starting to file into the building. I can hear them in the background for the Fox presidential debate, the GOP presidential debate happening tonight. All eyes going to be on the growing war of words between Donald Trump and Senator Ted Cruz.
Ted's been really nice until the last couple of days. You got a little problem, you know, you got to sort of make sure you can run. You got to make sure you can run. A lot of lawyers say you can't run if you do that. You can't be born in Canada. I'm not going to get into it tonight. I'm sure they'll get into it tomorrow night.
He just tees it up, doesn't he? Doesn't he? I'm not going to get into it. And in fact, Donald Trump has pulled back in some of these debates. He is one way on the campaign trail, another in the debates. Joining the conversation, Conservative Review Chief Political Correspondent Deneen Borelli. Deneen, what do you expect to see tonight?
Well, I'm very excited to be here. I'm really interested in seeing the two front runners really go at it. You have Ted Cruz, who could really present himself as a constitutionalist and a principled conservative. You've got Donald Trump, who could go after Cruz either on the eligibility aspect, but on the other hand, he could also go after him on the fact that he took the Goldman Sachs loans and tried to paint him as an insider, part of the special interest. So it will be interesting to see who's going to do what first and when. Now that college football is over, all eyes are really focused on what's going on.
And I know Chris Stirewalt will talk about this, guys, coming up, but Cruz needs to attack. Jeb Bush, who you're behind, and Ben Carson, they waited too long to really start going after him. And I would assert that it hurt them in the polls, that's one of the reasons that they lost momentum. Anthony?
Yeah, again, this is also a money game, and so, in Jeb's case, he's got money, and so we'll have to see what happens here as whoever the establishment candidate eventually shakes out. He did have a good poll result yesterday, but I'm interested in Deneen's reaction to this. Donald Trump is a weakness, heat-seeking missile. He finds the weakness in the candidate, and then he surgically strikes a target on them. Now, Ted, it's the birther. It'll probably be the Goldman Sachs allegation. Why has no candidate been able to heat-seek and find the weakness on Donald Trump?
Well, I think because of the people on the ground who are just tired of the establishment politicians, the insiders. It's a club. And it's like the game is fixed. No matter what these politicians do or say, Americans are tired of it. And so Donald Trump is saying and doing things what people are thinking, what they want to hear. And even when I go to church every week, the individuals are asking me, so what happened this week, and did you hear what Donald Trump said? And I'm behind him all the way. So, I'm looking at it from a perspective of people who are really engaged and are watching what's going on politically. And I think it's a different dynamic now because of someone like Donald Trump and other outsiders who are in politics now.
And Morgan, because now, and we talked about it at the top of the hour, but Ted Cruz is referring to Donald Trump's New York values, and that cuts across the candidate's entire person, if you will. But part of that is this, when you say New York values, he's accusing him of having loose morals.
Well, I mean, listen, I think that attack could be effective from Cruz, as you pointed out earlier. The gloves are certainly going to be off tonight. I mean, there are some candidates that are absolutely going to have to drop out after Iowa and New Hampshire. So I expect this to be the most fiery debate that we've had thus far. I think when you look at Donald Trump's record, Cruz may be the one person who's actually able to critique him in a way that's effective because of where Cruz stands with the base and with talk radio. Donald Trump, I think, has been a Democrat most of his life. I know the Twitter is going to explode for me saying this, but I think if you look at it from Cruz's perspective,
that's part of what he's asserting by saying New York values.
Absolutely.
But in terms of, you talked about church, in terms of people who...
Are we going to defend New York at one point? I mean, I know I'm a New Yorker, I'm a hedge fund manager, I'm like a triple pariah, but we have to defend New York at some point.
Okay, go.
No,
we don't want to talk about shot.
I don't know. My mom seems like she's a God-fearing Catholic, and she loves morals. Okay, keep going.
I was going to ask just really quickly, Deneen, about faith, the people who are voting, who are deep in their faith. Do they really? Is that an important criteria of a candidate?
Oh, absolutely. I do believe that because it's about values and principles, and people really feel like those are being under assault right now.
Deneen Borelli, awesome as always.